Hey everybody, welcome back. So this is kind of a fun episode. This is just going to be me this week. John is out there doing the Lord's work, aka working a lot. So I'm actually here this week to kind of share, honestly, a game I played here recently. I'm behind the curve because it did come out in November, but the Super Mario RPG remake, and I finally was able to dive into it, enjoy it, play it a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean I beat it because that was literally one of the best games of my childhood, bar none. And I'm actually here today to, talk about how it stacks up. And I also did the crazy thing. I played the OG version first and then played this one. So I kind of, if you remember from previous episodes where I talked about playing Breath of the Wild into Tears of the Kingdom, yeah, I kind of did that. Sorry, not sorry, for myself, not for you guys. So when I come back, I'm going to talk all about Super Mario RPG. So don't touch that dial. Welcome back, everybody. So Super Mario RPG. It was originally released on the Super Nintendo, and it was a love letter between Square Enix and Nintendo. It was a partnership nobody saw coming, I mean, just to be honest. And that's kind of where I'm going to start. I'm going to start with the first one, honestly, because, oh my goodness, the remake. But the first one, it was met with fanfare. It honestly pushed the Super Nintendo to its limits, and in my opinion, it's one of the top 3 RPGs released on the Super Nintendo. And it was such a fresh take on the Mario franchise, because you're used to platforming. We had Super Mario World, we had Super Mario World 2 with Yoshi and crying baby Mario, and you had all the Marios back on the Nintendo, the Game Boy, everywhere. It was kind of an oversaturated market, to be honest, in my opinion. So this fresh take that honestly started the Paper Mario franchise on its way, because it was where it got its roots from, and the Mario and Luigi saga, they got their roots from there as well. This is it's such a great game, and it holds up to this day. You can emulate it. If you have a working Super Nintendo, that is really awesome. Please play it there as well. Or it's on the Super Nintendo Classic, which you can still find pretty reasonably priced. And honestly, it hits on all levels. I love the story. It is a little cheesy, all things considered, but it's so well done. Actually having Bowser in your team, from the opening fight with him into recruiting him into finding the 7 stars, fighting Smithy. Oh my gosh. What I think I was hoping for, and honestly, not even what I know I was hoping for with the remake, was the pacing. In my opinion, the pacing for Super Mario RPG was some of the best pacing ever, from the opening act with Bowser all the way to the very end where Geno turns back into a little doll. The pacing was on point. It never felt like there was too much going on. You weren't inundated with too many side quests, because again, it was still fresh in the RPG realm, so we didn't have too much extra going on, too much fluff going on. And it just hit on all levels, and it just gave you something to really sink your teeth into. And so my biggest concern, and honestly for the longest time, so many of us were hoping for a remake in some form or fashion. It was, please bring it back. We want this would be great. And somehow, some way, Nintendo just shadow dropped. Oh, by the way, Super Mario RPG is coming out and this was November 2023. So, like I said, I played through the OG one. It was super, super fun. I got my lazy shell. I beat Kulex. And you want to talk about a very, very challenging super boss? You are level capped in Super Mario RPG, even at max level, with the best equipment the best weapons you can get. Kulex is a challenge. You can't bull rush him. You've actually got to be cognizant of what you're doing. And it was such a nice Easter egg ode to all of us Final Fantasy players and RPG goers. Like, it was just like the chef's kiss of a wonderful game. So after beating that, I did give myself a little bit of a break. I took a few days off. One, I was sick, and, two, I don't want to play literally the same game over and over. So when I came to it, about a week after I finished the first one, I was ready. Like, I didn't overhype myself, I didn't underhype myself, and let me tell you, this remake delivers on all fronts. They stayed true with the story. It is literally same story, up, like, better graphics, full remake from the ground up, with a few cooler mechanics. They kept everything the same, but they also gave you the option to, if you wanted to challenge yourself, you could go back and fight the bosses again. And that was just amazing. And I'm going to call it so I know it's not a triple tech, but that is what I'm calling it. You build up a gauge, and once the gauge is built up, you get to utilize moves that feature your 3 party members. And that's so awesome. And they did it in a way that didn't take you out of the experience. And I know this is me gushing about this game, but we don't get remakes like this that often. We don't get remasters like this that often. And it's honestly one of the biggest arguments with the Final Fantasy VII remake. You have so many people that loved the original release on the PlayStation, and when the remake came out, they were torn. They wanted to support it because we've been waiting for that Final Fantasy VII remake forever. But then you play it, you get involved in the combat, and it took away from the experience for so many people, because there's really no limitation on the PlayStation 5 like there was on the PlayStation 1. So they can go whatever route they want, they can do whatever they want, and honestly, it's a retelling. It's like a huge retelling. And I think, even though I did enjoy the remake, I think things like that do us a disservice. And that's why I'm so impressed with the Super Mario RPG remake. It stayed true. So for those of us who did enjoy it back in the day, maybe enjoyed it a little bit after the Super Nintendo, we still played it on around the Nintendo 64, GameCube time frame, or even got it on the Wii, like the Wii Digital Library. It's refreshing, because what made Super Mario RPG so great was it respected your time. It was such a well-positioned, well-paced game that it hit on every level. The combat was engaging, the story was engaging, and it immersed you. And you never felt like it went too far. You never felt like they did something that took you out of the experience. And for Nintendo, of all people, who don't exactly stay true on a lot of things, like, you could say what you want about Nintendo. For something like this, they stayed true to it. They didn't rock the boat. They kept it honestly what it should have been the entire time. And that's something that you don't see. Like, most remakes, most remasters, sometimes, like, they fall flat. And I'm all for everybody experiencing the games from my past. Like, I really hope they remake Breath of Fire 1 through 4, Breath of Fire, honestly, all 5 of them. Minus the PlayStation 2 one. Dragon Quarter was, you want to talk about a difficult game? Good night, ladies and gentlemen. I hope. With the recent release of Lunar on the Android markets, I really hope that we get closer to Lunar being re-released for consoles. I hope Final Fantasy Tactics comes to a modern console. I want people to keep experiencing this, and I want these remakes, these remasters, I want them to be done in a way like your Star Ocean 2. Like, I want them to be, and Super Mario RPG, like why I'm talking about it today. I want companies to keep doing that, because if you do, not only are you going to have a home run, you're going to have a sales home run. Like, congratulations, you just made money on money on money. But you win because you're hooking in this new generation of gamer with the old. And honestly, there's so many games that so many people didn't get to experience that are priced out of everybody's range. They don't have a console for it. They're locked behind either a price wall, a console wall, you name it, that people would love to play. And I really hope that this marriage of staying true and giving, and honestly adding new twists, because when you think about it, being able to challenge the bosses again and being able to utilize the 3-party techniques when charging the gauge, those are new. Those were added in, and it fit well, and it didn't take away from anything. Staying true to the game like that, we win. Hands down, we win. So if for some reason you have not experienced this yet, I know I'm late to the party, go out and pick it up. It is still readily available everywhere. This is one you will appreciate, you will enjoy, and it's honestly, like, this is one of the most fun games of my childhood that you can now experience. So yeah, you could call this an episode about Super Mario RPG, both 1 and 2. You could call it a love letter to remasters done right. I'm excited to see all the remasters that we're getting this year. I'm really looking forward to it because I think we're going to continue this JRPG renaissance. Viva la JRPG! And I think that gaming is just set up to continue on this meteoric success that it's on, and I can't wait for more of you to experience the games of old. So yeah, John, I hope you're doing well. Hope work was awesome. Hope you killed it. Well, you always do. He's awesome, by the way. Even though, I grief him with some Sonic Heroes every now and then. I like you, John. You guys know where to find us. You can find us on Instagram at Games with John and James, on TikTok at Games with John and James. John has been doing a fantastic job this season with our new graphics and uploading to YouTube. He's been very involved in our Twitter, X, buyer's choice, call it what you will. Recently had a very engaging conversation with somebody. I got John to play Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, and it has sparked some controversy, which is hilarious. And he's actually enjoying the game. Like, that makes me happy. I finally got him to enjoy a JRPG. Next stop, Super Mario RPG. Who knows? So yeah, as you know, I'm James with Games with John and James. Actually, Games with James today. We're the best podcast out there for all things gaming, random rantings, and just weird, insane jokes. Let me know what you think. Was Super Mario RPG, the remake, really awesome? Did it hold up well against the first one? Do you even want to see remasters anymore? Or do you want to see the gaming companies only focus on new games? Let me know what you think in the comments. Have a good one. I'm out. Yeah, no, I can't end it that way. We'll see y'all next time.